This Soonerscoop.com video is streaming in crystal clear 4K resolution on YouTube thanks to Enjoy Vision in Oklahoma City. Don't miss a moment on or off the field. Make every day a highlight with LASIK at Enjoy Vision. Enjoy Vision. This is where Sooner Scoop LASIKs. Hello and welcome back. Eddie Radosevich, George Stoia on location. Just 15 days until kickoff. Welcome back to the Soonerscoop.com YouTube channel. We're out on location today. Got out of the studio for a little bit. You what?
Practicing for our instant reactions this year.
There you go. It's a preseason for everybody, so we decided to come out here. We did talk to Brent Venables after practice on Friday. Oklahoma coming out of the scrimmage on what was that? Wednesday, the second major scrimmage that Oklahoma had. They have a third one coming up on Saturday. It'll be kind of more of an alumni game. We talked about it a little bit on Thursday here on the Soonerscoop.com practice report. It seems, though, good as they could be. I thought Brent was in a great mood on Friday, going into what should be, I guess, technically their first or last preseason practice on Saturday before they break, quote-unquote, camp going into the week at hand and almost to game week.
Yeah, I thought he was really good and basically kind of put a bow on camp because it does feel like it's kind of the end of this thing, and he feels good about this team. I can tell you that. I mean, it was several times that he talked about the offense being super competitive this year, as well as the defense and all the competition that's happening on that side of the ball, and even special teams. He did address the Mateer stuff, which we'll get to in a second, but yeah, I thought he was in a really good mood today.
Before we get to all the good stuff from Brent Venables on Friday after practice, let us tell you about our good friends Poncho Outdoors. PonchoOutdoors.com. All you got to do is go to PonchoOutdoors.com/Soonerscoop, as you see on the screen here. Many options to choose from. George, I just got one of the short sleeve Western looks. I know getting compliments in the office. Soft right out of the box, lightweight, breathes incredibly well. If you're going outdoors, you have a backyard barbecue, coming down here to Norman to tailgate. No one better than our good friends over at Poncho Outdoors. Just go to PonchoOutdoors.com/Soonerscoop for $10 off your first order and free shipping and free returns, free exchange policy as well, to make sure that you get all you need. Thank you to Poncho Outdoors. All right, let's get into a little bit. Brent did talk to the media on Friday after practice, and here he is, just kind of giving a little bit of an overview of Oklahoma as they wrap up week 3 of the preseason.
Finished our 13th practice, and really like where this team is right now. Got a lot of work to do, a lot of details that we have to continue to get cleaned up. But really looking for guys that are trustworthy, guys that show a high level of consistency, dependability, availability, all of those things. As I told the team after practice, every good or great success story requires some struggle and some resistance, and they got to embrace it. And this is really this week of camp for the next 5, 6, 7 days is really an opportunity to separate, from other people who are in the middle of camp. Just the approach, the mindset, attitude, the strain, the focus, the chase for what really good football at any particular position looks like. Had a scrimmage, our second scrimmage, and really pleased with a lot of things that we saw. A ton of competition that is ongoing coming out of that scrimmage, which is a great thing for the Sooners, in my opinion. A lot of young guys where the game they've had some amazing moments, some tough moments, and but a lot of the young guys I think are going to have a chance to be in the 2 deep and maybe even start. I think at times the game is starting to slow down now for them, and having some success in building confidence. And some of the older guys that maybe this is their second year as a full-time starter, maybe the first year as a third or fourth year player. Things are really starting to make sense now for them. You see that in their play.
Certainly the news of the week, George, was John Mateer and his little situation that he had online. It doesn't seem like it's concerning anybody within the Oklahoma program. In fact, I would say that we've kind of come to an end of the John Mateer saga, Venmo Gate.
Yeah, I mean, even Brent kind of laughed about it today, to having to answer a question about it, but certainly not a concern. Even Brent talked about, kind of the being aware on social media, all of those things, but Oklahoma's moved on. They're moving forward. They're going to have their starting quarterback to begin the year. So I don't think they're too concerned right now.
he is going to talk about John Mateer, but I do think, and we're going to kind of add all this together, it's kind of been a theme of the preseason here, and certainly coming out of Wednesday and the scrimmage here on the field was the fact that it has been competitive this year. There has been a back and forth between Oklahoma defensively and then Oklahoma offensively punching back.
Yeah, I think that's kind of been the theme every time we talk to players is how competitive the offense is this year versus what they were a year ago. And we've heard that, right? Like we've heard in the practice notes, which sign up, Soonerscoop.com, $1. But you can see that the offense is certainly punching back. And I think that's caused a lot of competition, which, Brent Venables views as a good thing.
No doubt about it. Here is Brent Venables talking about the John Mateer situation and a little bit more serious matter with competition within practice.
Seems like the same guy.
And I don't want to speak for him, but in his mind, there was nothing to be seen here. So, thankful for the powers that be that it got us to a really good place quickly. But he's a lighthearted guy. He's focused and serious when he needs to. I think he recognizes he'd be the first one to tell you the enormity of what the implications could have been had he not followed the NCAA rules years ago or whatever. But he just kind of, I don't want to, again, he's moved on quickly.
Brent, we've heard a lot from the players about how competitive this camp has been. The offense has been giving it to the defense, some defense giving it to the offense. Have you felt that maybe more so than in previous years?
I think maybe just look back at the last team for sure. And, 23, our offense again was top 5 in the country, 22 really, really good. And I think in every category in 23, scoring, total offense, passing offense. So they were really good. And so probably a little more like that, push and shove and punch back. So it's good, really good competition. Starting inside out, really like where we're at, guard to guard. I think we've got a great group there, and we've shown really good things at tackle as well. And that'll be the spot that we've got to continue to grow and improve everywhere. But like the camaraderie, the cohesion, the chemistry, the mindset, the toughness of the guys up front, man. Bill's done a great job. The players have done a wonderful job taking ownership of all of their work every single day. That's a group that is really strained and put a lot of work in. And then, again, I think if you'll just look back at, our last scrimmage, today's practice, Dion, Carry On, 14, 84. These are guys, J. Mike and our running backs, 6. Torrey Blaylock has been, he's been really good. His physical maturity, his explosiveness, his durability. He's taken a lot of snaps. And he's been here since January. And a lot of times those young players, they run into a wall at some point in time. And if it's happened, none of us have witnessed it. And he's handled it quickly and well. Torrey Blaylock has been as impressive of a freshman, as I've been around. And so we'll see, what the season brings. But he's been fantastic.
Certainly one of the, I think the good feelings that you come out of here, this preseason portion of practice, is the fact that they have been really good against defense. That's expected to be extremely good. And obviously they lose Danny Stutzman, they lose Billy Bowman to the NFL. You can see Billy Bowman and the Atlanta Falcons on Friday night, I believe, in a little preseason action if you must. But kind of the point of the situation here is there has been a lot of competition. You talk about all the competition on the offensive side. We talked to Bill Beadenbow and the offensive line and trying to figure that out. It does kind of seem like there's the same kind of feeling with the cornerback situation that Oklahoma has. You want to keep Gentry, but there seems like a young number of guys, whether it be Jeremiah Newcomb, who we highlighted on Thursday's program, or Cortland Guillory, the young true freshman, as well as a defensive line unit that you can go off, you can list a number of names like Brent did on Friday in the interior, and then the development on the defensive ends.
Yeah, I think that on defense, it's really going to be interesting to see who plays, who starts, who goes out there first, because you've got a lot of guys who've made a name for themselves. You just listed a bunch of guys, especially at corner, and that was kind of a huge question mark. Maybe the biggest question mark on this defense coming into the year is who's going to step up there, because they've got a bunch of young guys. They've also got guys that need to stay healthy. Gentry Williams, which it sounds like he's had a really good camp. And then on the defensive end, I think you feel good about the interior, but at defensive end, it's the same situation. You got a bunch of young guys really pushing for some starting time. And talking to Brent on Friday, it certainly feels like, remember when he first got here and all it was about was competitive depth, right? It feels like they're finally getting that competitive depth at all three levels on the defense right now.
It's almost one of those things, and until you said it, I really hadn't thought about it. We haven't heard that. That was such a catchphrase a year ago. It feels like maybe that means that they're there. That's where they want to be. They don't have to talk about it. Here is Brent Venables talking about the quarterback room as well as the defensive line room and kind of the competitions that will still be going on as we go up to August 30th and the season opener.
Yeah, I think that we've got more guys that are playing at a level that of consistency, just playing cornerback the way it needs to be played, and nothing extraordinary is expected. I'm just doing the basics really well over and over and over, and if you do that, you can be pretty dang good everywhere. And assuming that the other positions are what we feel like they are. So that being said, I think again this has been incredibly a consistent couple of weeks for Gentry Williams. Jacoby Johnson, Cortland has had a great summer and fall camp as well. Day Jordan has really taken another step, as we talked about, and Jeremiah Newcomb as well. Just that group of guys, Kendall Dolby, that group of guys has really shown that they have a chance to play really well this year. And but just the consistency has been the best part of it. Made a ton of plays on the ball as well, and playing at a really consistent level when it comes to the mental piece of it. Yeah, I love it. I love it. It's been, the competition's real, and guys are straining every day. I can't wait to see who runs out first. And like I said before, it should matter. And I know it matters to us as coaches. But it's been a group of guys that they've got length and speed and physicality. They all bring something, both in the run game, setting edges, and also as pass rushers. But that's been a really consistent group, and still room to improve, but I look forward to watching that competition really to hopefully to continue to happen throughout the course of the season. But guys like Taylor Wine and Danny Okoye, Marvin Jones, guys that were not here a year ago, or maybe if they were here, they were more in a very small role or redshirting, and they're in a much different place now. And the game is again slowing down. They're playing fast, playing physical, playing really hard. Coach Chavis has done a great job at getting those guys to show up every day, with a high level of passion and intensity and fire to get better. And it's really bled over into other areas, But the D-line as a whole, I could literally go and say the same thing at D-tackle right now. And I could say it at linebacker. I could say it at safety. And so I'm fired up now, only because these guys I love a group of guys. My favorite players are guys that are consistent, they're dependable, they got passion for what they do, they got toughness to handle all of it, and they show up every day with, an energy that has got to come from them. The coach can't go play. The coach can't fight their fight. So this is a group of guys that have shown the willingness to, and it haven't been perfect, but they fight. And that's what it's about. They show up every day and fight for their opportunity, fight for their for the trust that they're trying to earn, those types of things. I really like the group of guys: Jaden Jackson, Dom Williams, David Stone, Marcus Strong, Trent Wilson, Nigel Smith's coming on there. He had a surgery on his ankle. It's just a degenerative issue he had with his ankle. About 3/4 of the way through spring ball, decided to go ahead and do it then so he could be back for fall camp, and he's done a nice job transitioning inside. Marcus Strong's got a lot of natural ability. He had a knee scope this summer just to clean up. He had something coming out of high school, and man, he's got great power and quickness. He's a good athlete. David Stone is, again, he's fighting to be a starter, and he's showing up every day like it matters to him. Has really taken another big step. Dom Williams, as I've said before, his strain and his effort, his intensity is the best it's been, and it shows. He's improved in every part of his game, and he's become a great leader. He's a guy that the players voted as a captain for the season, and that's exciting, to see the hard work affirmed by your teammates. To me, there's nothing more important than having the trust and respect of your teammates. And Jaden Jackson, he had the shoulder surgery, and so he was out in the spring and a good part of the summer. Man, he has been fantastic. And I don't gas people, so it's really hard, but I would be remiss and negligent if I didn't, because they've been shown a great deal of maturity, they're hungry and they're not satisfied, and they know there's a lot of work to be done, and they know they haven't done anything and proven anything, and this is a game of doing, and the mark of this team, and this certainly those players, those units, and our defense is going to be about what you do from September all the way through January.
Man, if there's one player, I think it's everybody says, like, Danny Okoye. I can't wait to see him. There's a number of those guys. Even somebody like a Nigel Smith that, as you heard Brent talking about, had the the operation during the spring or during the middle of the spring. He's been one of those guys when we've been out here at practice that has caught everybody's attention, as well as Marcus Strong coming back from that meniscus, as Brent outlined there. All right, let's talk special teams, because I think that nobody's really talked about it. It obviously hasn't been a big headline grabber, but all in all, we enter, week 3 or get to the end of week 3, going into the third scrimmage of the preseason. Feels pretty good about Tate Sandell, and it even sounds like Liam Evans and Austin Welch are at least pushing to make this thing a little bit of a competition going into the final week.
Yeah, I think it is kind of a tight competition, and I asked Brent about that, but coming out of the scrimmages and stuff, it sounds like they've all three kicked extremely well, and I know Tate Sandell kind of has a monster leg. I think that he is probably the front runner for that leading job. He's definitely got the biggest leg. I mean, you heard Brent say today about the 58 and 55 yarders that they hit in the scrimmage. That's awesome. That's not stuff that Oklahoma's used to now. Totally different. You got to see it happen in a game, on the road in Knoxville, on the road in Tuscaloosa, all of those things. But from where this thing was in the spring, which we were like, oh boy, you better not be kicking a whole lot of field goals, to now where it's like, oh, you feel comfortable trotting them out there for a 50-plus yard field goal. That's a big difference.
Here is Brent Venables giving a little bit of a recap of Doug Deacon's special teams unit going into the third scrimmage on Saturday.
One last one. How's special teams come along? I know that's been
good.
Big...
Yeah. No, we hit a 58-yarder in the scrimmage, and another like a 55-yarder as well. And I haven't said that in the past. Where we've made those long field goals, because we haven't. And but we got to still continue to work on being consistent and show up. And it only matters what you do in a game, but you do build confidence in the field position game. And punting has been good. We did a great job in some of our pooch situations and backed up coming out of our own end zone. We were able to flip the field the several times that we've worked that situation as well. Yeah, Ben Anderson's been fantastic, and I love the group of players that Coach Deacon and the rest of the staff, what we have to work with from, protection, our coverage units. It's a veteran group of players, and we've added some really dynamic, explosive playmakers, with that group of guys.
Is that a competition at kicker?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brent.
Sounds good. As you said, it's going to be a little bit different when you run him out there at the Cotton Bowl, or you run him out there against Michigan, having to make a 51-yarder to win a game or something. Hopefully, Oklahoma certainly hopes that it doesn't get to that point. All right, let's talk just injuries, just overall. I know that we've come on here on some of the practice reports. We've talked about guys that have been being held out here, or somebody got injured here, but they're going to be slow with them. Overall, it seems like everybody's relatively healthy going into these final couple weeks leading into the preseason, or into the regular season opener.
Yeah, I feel like they've kind of come out of this thing a little unscathed. Now, I say that there's a few guys that you still hope to come back that didn't really practice. Grayson Halton, Eli Bowen, Giovanni Gibson, they're all kind of working their way back, didn't play much or at all really in camp. But other than that, you've had some nicks and bruises, some guys, get banged up here and there, but nothing that I don't think is catastrophic, unlike last year, right? At this point last year. So, Brent said, I think today, I asked him kind of, what's the overall health of the team? And he said it's good. And that was about the only thing he said about it. But I do believe that's somewhat the truth right now.
good time to join Soonerscoop.com. You can do so for just $1. Make sure that you tell everybody out there in YouTube land about us. I think that that has been going quite well here over the first couple of weeks. And George, I think this is a pretty good test run for what will be for real for us for an instant reaction come 2 weeks from Saturday afternoon.
I can't wait, man. We're so close to football. What is it? Two weeks from Saturday. It's gonna be fun to get back out here. 5 o'clock kick. It's gonna be hot. Maybe show up.
We know that, though.
Yeah, maybe show up like partway through the first quarter.
Well, that's what a veteran move would be after getting shit-faced all day at a tailgate. How about that? All right, for George Stoia, I think I'm getting a little bit taller than George as well.
I was also dipping down some, so just helping you out.
You were trying to alpha me, but in fact you became a beta by that matter, by those means. For George Stoia, I'm Radosevich. We'll see you back here on Monday on the Soonerscoop.com YouTube channel.